Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to talk about how to get the Turbulent Timeways buff and essentially speed level your characters from 60 to 70. So the Turbulent Timeways buff or the Mastery of Timeways buff is a buff that you can achieve during the Turbulent Timeways event. Now the Turbulent Timeways event is basically an incentive for players to do time walking dungeons. You get a massive EXP gain. The buff stacks slowly, so it starts at 5%, then to 10%, then to 15%, but upon your fourth obtaining of the buff, so upon clearing your fourth time walking dungeon, you will obtain a flat 30% buff for 3 hours. Now 30% EXP buff is pretty good. Not to mention, on top of that, we have some super good mechanisms already of speed leveling your characters. So all it requires you to do is a random time walking dungeon. You simply have to do 4 of them. Each time you clear the dungeon, it will renew the duration of your buff and also increase the stack on it. So even while you are preparing the buff for your character, you will essentially be able to level your character quite well. Now the buff is set per character. So you are unable to use the buff account-wide, so you can't complete your 5 time walking dungeons on your max level character and then transfer it over to your other characters. It has to be obtained on that character, which obviously is a little bit of a shame. Now, in terms of how best to utilize the buff, well, there is a hierarchy of events. Essentially, the best methods are to use the buff during any dream surges that are currently up, so you can maximize the EXP you gain, not only from completing the world quests, but also completing the actual dream surge event, which will net you quite a significant amount of EXP. Quests and world objectives basically being main quest lines, which you can follow my guide on how best to achieve, as well as also, of course, world quests and world objectives, those being the massive objectives that give you, quite sizable EXP. Time walking dungeons themselves are the third best option and probably the easiest and most casual method, and of course, finally, dungeons if you do not wish to do time walking and instead want to take a break. That's basically the priority list. And it's pretty straightforward. So get your buff. Then by the time you've got your buff, you should be around level 62 or 63. And then you have 3 hours to basically max out your character, which will be pretty easy. But that's it from me. See you guys next time. Bye.